Hi there, little one. I'm Cozy Bear. Are you all tucked in? Pillow nice and fluffy? Blanket pulled up high? Perfect, because tonight I have a very special story just for you. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Deep in a warm honey-colored forest, where the trees dripped with golden light and the air smelled sweetly of wildflowers, there lived two little bears. Bruno, who was older by exactly 3 minutes, and Bea, who never ever let him forget that 3 minutes meant almost nothing. One evening, as the sun melted into the hills, Bruno looked up at the sky and gasped. "Bea," he whispered, "look." The moon that night was different. It was deep, warm gold, like honey in a jar held up to the light, round and heavy and glowing. "The honey moon," breathed Bea. She had heard their grandmother talk about it, the rarest moon of all, the one that only came once every many, many years. "What do we do?" asked Bruno. Bea looked at him. "We watch it," she said simply, "together." And so they climbed the little hill behind their home. Bruno brought a jar of honey. Bea brought 2 wooden spoons, and together they sat, side by side, watching the honeymoon rise higher and higher into the warm night sky. "Do you think it tastes like honey?" asked Bruno. "The moon?" Bea considered this very seriously. "Probably not," she said, "but I think it feels like it, warm and sweet and slow." After a while, Bruno had a thought, a slightly selfish thought, the kind that sneaks in when you're very tired. "I saw it first," he said, "so the honeymoon is mine." Bea looked at him. "You saw it first by 1 second. "Still counts," said Bruno. There was a long silence, the kind only brothers and sisters can make. Then Bea said quietly, "Bruno, can you really own a moon?" Bruno opened his mouth, then closed it. He looked at the honeymoon. It was so big, so warm, so golden, and it was shining on everything. The forest, the flowers, the river, the sleeping birds. On Bruno, on Bea, on all of it, equally, all at once. "No," said Bruno slowly. "I don't think you can." He held out his wooden spoon. "Want some honey?" Bea smiled. "I thought you'd never ask." They sat together under the honeymoon and ate honey from the jar, slowly, sweetly, saying nothing for a long time. The moon moved gently across the sky. The forest was quiet and warm. The fireflies came out, just a few, drifting between the trees. "Bruno," said Bea, "I'm glad you saw it first." Bruno smiled. "I'm glad you came with me." By the time the jar was empty, both little bears were very, very sleepy. They walked home slowly, paw in paw, through the warm, honey-colored forest. And above them, the honeymoon followed gently, lighting their way home. "Do you think it'll still be there tomorrow?" asked Bruno. "The moon?" "Yes," Bea yawned. "Maybe not the honeymoon, but a moon will always be there, and so will I. They climbed into their cozy beds, side by side, the way they always slept, two small bears in a warm little room. The honey moon shone softly through the window, filling the room with golden light, like honey, warm and slow and sweet. Bruno's eyes closed, then Bea's, and soon all that could be heard was the soft sound of two little bears breathing together. In, out, in, out. And that little one was tonight's story. Cozy Bear hopes you have the most wonderful magical dreams tonight. See you next time. Good night.